Cars these days are all being labelled as this killer or that killer, and this BYD Seal, well, I'm sure you've already seen other publications and YouTubers, and to be honest, us too, claiming this to be the car that will finally bring the fight to the Model 3. Well, that might just be the case, but I think the first thing that we'll need to find out is if this is even a good car to begin with. So for today's video, let's just pretend that the Tesla Model 3 doesn't exist, and we'll look at the BYD Seal in more detail just by itself. The BYD Seal is offered in two variants here in Malaysia, starting with the Premium at 180,000 and the Performance at 200,000 ringgit. And what do you know, we have both of them right here for this review. But aside from a couple of badges, there's really no differences between them from the outside. So why did we get two of these again? But anyway, I think that was actually a great choice by BYD because smaller wheels or the cheap halogen lighting just won't do the Seal's design any justice. And as a latecomer to the market, you'll want to make a statement. And the BYD Seal here, well, that's definitely a statement made. If you ask me, the BYD Seal here is a car that doesn't have any bad angles because no matter which side you're looking at it, it just looks so sleek and so handsome. And I think a large part of that is down to its sporty sedan proportions as well as this fastback-like roofline around the back. I particularly like the lighting on this car, especially the full-width taillights here with these little dots all around to give it a very unique 3D effect. The headlights are also very sharp with this extension on the sides and then underneath it for the daytime running lights as well as turn indicators to give the BYD Seal a very iconic and very recognizable face. This bit down here though, I'm not really that sure about it because I think it just looks a little bit too busy on an otherwise very clean and very sleek design. Now I've actually seen some photos of a modified BYD Seal with a different bumper without that bit of light, and I think that just looks absolutely amazing. I'll try to find some photos of it and include it here so you can tell me what you think. But still, the BYD Seal does already look very attractive as is, especially with the unique looking 19-inch wheels and the massive diffusers at the back, even if they're just there for looks. It's aggressive but still with a touch of classiness that makes the BYD Seal feel at home, be it on the racetrack or, you know, parked in your office parking lot. As good as this car looks though, I do have to say that I don't think they've quite got the whole design language down just yet, because even though this car is also part of the Ocean series like the Dolphin, well, the two cars just don't look like they're related at all. There are at least a couple of ocean-inspired details on here, like this bit on the side skirt that sort of reminds me of the shark skin texture, and that bit on the C-pillar also somewhat looks like the fish's gills. Now BYD also says that this creases on the bodywork is inspired by the ocean's wave, but honestly I don't see that at all. But no matter what, I really do hope that some of these details do make it into the next Ocean series model to at least give them a more cohesive design. And you know what? Just take the whole design because this car here already looks so good. As nice as its exterior looks, I think the highlight for the BYD Seal for me is really its interior cabin. Now sitting inside here, your first impressions would be just how nice everything feels with the sport seats cocooning you in place, the soft touch materials basically everywhere like the door cards as well as even the center console over here, and even things like how the door feels when it closes. There's just an overall sense of premiumness and something that you wouldn't expect in a car that starts at 180,000 ringgit. Even the dashboard design feels that way too. I mean, it's not the extreme minimalism that we see so often now, but these metallic trims, the unique curvy lines, and even the material choices like this Alcantara-like lining on the dashboard all just exude a very upmarket feel. So much so that the first time I sat inside this car, it somehow felt like an Italian Grand Tourer. And it's not just in looks, because everything in here just feels properly put together with no creaks or weird noises anywhere. And with these quilted leather seats, well, the BYD Seal is really just such a nice place to be in. Even though the design here isn't as quote-unquote modern as we'd expect, tech-wise, it's pretty much right up there with any other EVs on the market. The most obvious one is the massive 15.6-inch screen here in the center, but there's also the 10.25-inch instrument cluster as well as a head-up display up here for the driver. Now this screen here, as you all know, can be rotated between portrait and landscape mode with just a touch of a button. But aside from the wow factor for the first time you show it to your friends, I don't actually think it's all that useful, at least for now. Now you do get some additional functionality, for example the 360-degree surround view monitor, but if you're like me and you use Apple CarPlay basically all the time, you'll be forced to use this screen in landscape mode. And because it's your basic CarPlay display just stretched out to fill the entire screen, you also don't get any additional functionalities on here. If you ask me, the smart way to do it is to just have your CarPlay take up this part of the screen up here and leave the bottom for your other things like climate control. Because for now, if you're using CarPlay, the only way to adjust your aircon is to swipe up from the bottom of the screen, tap on the temperature readout, and then only adjust from there. And believe me, it is really hard to do it while driving, and especially so when that part of the screen is just blocked off by the steering wheel because the screen is just so big. The screen does at least function pretty smoothly and snappy in actual use, but that said, some things are still annoyingly hidden behind multiple layers of settings, like good luck finding the seat ventilation adjustments while driving. The worst offender of all though has to be adjusting the vents through the screen. I mean, you don't even get the option to just turn off a single vent. You do at least get a couple of physical buttons right here in the center on this little island, like your drive mode selector as well as your volume control. And this crystal gear knob is also a nice touch with the letters lighting up inside, so it actually works pretty well at night. I also really like this twin wireless charging pad, so you and your passengers will never have to fight to charge your phone again. And if you don't want to use both of them at the same time, you can actually turn them off individually, so you can maybe keep your smaller items like your key cards over here. In terms of storage space, you get these two sculpted cup holders on the center console with a pretty neat trick because you can actually extend the base downwards for you to keep your taller bottles. There's also a storage tray down here for your larger items like a bag, and also a pretty decently sized storage box underneath the armrest. But I'm just not too sure if they really needed to print such a big graphic for your NFC card reader here in the center console, because it just really takes away from the whole premiumness feel of the cabin. The back seats of the BYD Seal really just shows off what an EV can do, because it is just so spacious inside here with a ton of knee room and leg room as well because of the completely flat floor. Now, even though this car has a sloping roofline, your headroom here is actually pretty alright, and the massive glass roofs just further accentuates the whole airiness feeling inside here. And surprisingly, the infrared rejection coating here actually works really well, because under our crazy Malaysian heat and sun, you don't actually feel all that hot inside here. My only complaint here is that the seats in front are just a little bit too low, so you can't really stretch out and put your feet underneath to relax. I guess that's what happens when you have all of the batteries just lined underneath this floor over here. But at least the seat base here is nicely contoured and it's just long enough to give you some thigh support, especially, you know, when you man spread a little bit. And the seat backs here are also nicely reclined, so it's actually quite comfortable for long journeys. There's aircon vents here on the center console, and down here underneath this flap there's also the USB-A and USB-C charging ports. I actually really like how these seat back pockets are partitioned, so you can just slide your phone in when you're charging. And there's also a basic armrest with just two cup holders in the middle. The rear seats come with a 60/40 split folding mechanism, giving you easy access to the boot or to carry long items when you need to. The boot itself is rated at only 400 litres, which is not the biggest in the segment, but at least there's also some underfloor storage here, as well as a frunk in front for your other smaller items. So next up, let's see how the BYD Seal behaves on the road. But instead of the performance, I think I much rather prefer the premium. So hop in with me and I'll tell you why. Yes, I know you're all disappointed that you're not going to be able to see any of the 3.8 second action today, but I truly do believe that this premium variant is the better choice between the two. I mean, it's still got some 313 horsepower and 360 Newton meters of torque. And in actual performance, BYD says that this car here will be able to do 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 5.9 seconds. And I dare you to tell me that this isn't enough. My goodness, it is still fast! Woohoo! Not only does it accelerate faster than pretty much every other ICE car in its price bracket, the thing to remember is also the way that EVs accelerate is just completely different thanks to its instant torque delivery. So no matter what speed you're at, just pin down on the accelerator and off you go. The biggest selling point of the premium variant is its extra range. Now it still gets the same 82.5 kilowatt-hour battery pack, but because this here only has one motor instead of the two, BYD says that you'll actually be able to go 50 kilometers further on this thing compared to the performance variant. And from our testing so far, with about 500 or so kilometers driven, I've been averaging an energy consumption figure of around 18 kilowatt-hour per 100 km. And I've also seen it dip all the way down to about 13 or 14 when I'm taking it a little bit easier. Now with that number, we should be getting around a 460 kilometers of real-world range compared to 410 on our performance test unit. So yeah, that is 50 kilometers. The one drawback here though is that it only comes with a 7 kilowatt single phase onboard AC charger on both variants. So recharging at home does take quite a long time, 15.2 hours to be exact, to go from 0 to 100%. DC fast charging on the other hand is fairly decent with support of up to 150 kilowatts. Now that should take you about 37 minutes to go from 10 to 80%. But for me, the main reason I go for the premium is that it just drives better. Now, I'm not talking about your weekend mountain carving kind of driving, but rather when you're just going around town or cruising on the highways, which I think is what most of these cars buyers will be doing anyway. The single motor powertrain on here feels that much smoother in just about every way. Now of course, because of its lower outputs, you don't get that sudden surge in power when you squeeze on the accelerator, but more importantly is when you release the accelerator, because the regen braking doesn't kick in as sudden or as abruptly as the performance. What all this means is that it's a lot easier to modulate your throttle pedal to accelerate or slow down smoothly in traffic, so your daily commute in this thing will be a lot more comfortable. Throughout my weekend driving this car, I found myself to really just enjoy cruising about town and minding my own business. The laminated glass on here really does help filter out all of the hustle and bustle around me, so I can just sink in and soak in all of the luxuries inside the cabin and also listen to my own music through these very nice Dyne audio speakers. Compared to its many other competitors out there, the BYD Seal also is one of the most natural feeling EVs out there, so I don't have to constantly think about how to drive it, how much to modulate my throttle pedal, and actually just drive the thing. So we've established that the BYD Seal is pretty nice on the city streets, but that's not saying that it can't also handle itself around the twisty back roads. And in fact, I'd say it's actually quite the opposite. The performance variant does have something called frequency selective damping on its suspensions, but this premium variant here, well, it doesn't actually feel all that different without it, even when it comes to the more aggressive sort of driving. Chuck it into the corners and the agile front end will still happily oblige with your every move. And for someone who enjoys driving, you'll also really like the way the car feels when it comes out of the corner, with the rear end pushing itself out rather than the front end dragging the car out. And you'll be surprised that the chassis here is actually quite playful too, because you do actually feel the tail kind of want to rotate a little bit when you attack the corners, and like I said, it does feel really natural. That said, you probably wouldn't want to be pushing this car too much through the corners, because while the front end might be agile and the steering wheel feels nicely weighted, it really doesn't give you much in terms of feedback through the steering wheel. And when you pair it to the vague brake pedal feel and the floaty feeling you get in the corners because of its softer suspensions and the heavy weight, well, the BYD Seal really doesn't give you much confidence to truly attack the corners. So it's not a track weapon like BYD's promotional material might suggest. But when it comes to the odd back roads, I think the natural chassis does still really make it quite enjoyable to drive. BYD calls this a sports sedan, and I think this car here does have just enough sportiness to deserve that title, but you know, just don't compare it to the BMW 3 Series. Just like any other car, the BYD Seal here certainly has its flaws, but I don't think any of them are actual deal breakers. And as a whole, I think this here is actually just a very competent EV, or maybe rather, just a very competent car. At a price point of 180,000 ringgit, the premium touches inside are pretty much second to none. And when you pair it to its capable road manners and a design that just looks so good, it's just a complete package that I think will satisfy even the pickiest of buyers. So then, the next question is, does it really have what it takes to beat the Tesla Model 3? Well, subscribe to our channel for that and make sure to click on the bell icon so you don't miss out on our latest videos. For now though, if you need more information on the BYD Seal, be sure to head on over to AutoBuzz.my and maybe leave a comment down below to tell us what other cars you want to see us compete against the BYD Seal. This is Woon, and I'll see you in the next one.